Hi, my name is Karen Slusher, and this is my presentation on the human resource frame. First, I just want to apologize for my voice. I'm probably hours away from losing it completely, so hopefully I can get through this. Um, I really appreciated the human resource frame based on the Bowman and Deal school district model, and I really liked it because of their focus on on the people. I like the fact that they clearly recognize that the people within it bring important skills and that they have unique relationships and individual needs. And so then really having the focus be on the skills, the attitude, the teamwork, and the communication around these people, I think is essential to really making an organization run well. I think it's important to recognize that the organizational and human needs are in line with one another based on this frame, and that the decision making is open and involves everybody in the process. To me, this is really important, and I like that it really aligns with my style of leadership, which is the democratic style. I also like in this that the leader is going to be a servant and a catalyst rather than somebody who's going to be dictating everything in terms of what has to happen. I think it's important at times, but I really like this notion that the leader is meant to be there to help serve and to put things into motion. Obviously, at the top of the structure, the hierarchical structure, the principal is going to be there overseeing everything. He or she should really have a hand in and understand what's going on in the building, but they should also really have an understanding that the people underneath them are there to help make things run smoothly. Part of the hiring process is to ensure that the right people are there to make the team function. Underneath the principal, I had students and teachers. Students to me was really a no-brainer because that's why we're here. That's why we chose the work that we're doing. And it's important that we put the students at the forefront of our thinking because that's really who we're here to serve. If that's not what we're focused on, then the overall mission and vision of the school is probably not going to be successful. Um, I actually did struggle putting teachers up at this point, and kind of went back and forth on this decision, mostly because I see teachers as self-sufficient. I see them as capable of accessing the resources that they potentially need and kind of needing less guidance. But I ultimately decided to put them here because of how important they are to the students really achieving what it is that they're there to achieve. And so without having the teachers at the top with this, I think it loses the importance of who they are. It loses the importance of the role that they play and the teamwork necessary to make sure that the students have the education that they deserve and need. Underneath that, I split it into a couple of different things. I think it's really important at this level to involve the parents. I think the parents really are the ones who are seeing what the future is, and they're going to be often the ones that can dictate the success of the school to a certain degree. They're going to be the ones that you're answering to, that you're answering questions to. And so I think it's important to make sure that they're seen as significant under this structure. I also chose to put the office staff here, and part of that is just for me. I think in my time in education, I've just seen how important the office staff is to making sure that the school is running effectively. There's so many pieces that really I think a lot of people don't recognize take place, and that the office staff is critical to ensuring that the little things are done so that the school can run the way that it's supposed to be run. I also put the maintenance staff here, and that might have been partially just because our school has been undergoing a lot of maintenance recently. And the part of my job at the school is to work directly with some of the maintenance staff to make sure that things are taken care of. And so I really see the importance of them making sure that things are maintained, that the building is in good working order, and that it's a safe place for the students to be in school. So I also included them at this level. My base level for the hierarchical structure includes custodians, cooks, community and alumni, and our paraprofessionals. Um, I mean, overall, and I think we probably all were in this position of looking at this and trying to decide how do we actually organize this in a way that makes sense. Um, our custodian staff I put there just because they're not seen nearly as frequently, and that there are people throughout the day who are working to kind of clean the school and make sure that the school is it's just got a good appearance, and that the trash is taken care of, and that the students and the teachers and the rest of the building staff make sure that the school is taken care of. And so that was kind of where I settled on custodians down there. I also put cooks down there just because I know a lot of our students choose not to eat on campus. That doesn't excuse the fact that because of the cooks, we have students who wouldn't have a meal otherwise are able to have a meal. But kind of like the custodians, I think it's just one of those positions that is not nearly as prevalent in terms of the whole school. It's more of kind of addressing the means or the needs of a smaller proportion of our students. I think if I worked in um, a higher needs community, then that probably would be higher up on my list just because of how essential it is to our students being successful. I also chose to put community and alumni together in the same section, mostly because a lot of our community has former alumni from the school. And so really just in terms of looking at this is that we want to maintain the school in a way that the community and the alumni are proud, but ultimately they're not our main goal. It really is, again, it's back to the students. And so the alumni obviously being former students, but there's not much that as a principal I really would need to look at as serving their needs entirely. I'd probably feel differently if it were a private school and we relied on alumni contributions to make sure that the school functioned. And then the last one that I looked at for this category was paraprofessionals. I put paraprofessionals here just because in our school the model really is for teachers to manage the paraprofessionals that we have on staff and to work with them. And so as a leader, I definitely want to acknowledge the role that they play, but I don't want that to be one of my main focal points, just because I trust the teachers to interact with the paras in a way that makes sense and then to potentially come to me if there's a specific need that they need me to address. In terms of looking at the hierarchical structure as a whole, it was really somewhat difficult for me to kind of put this into terms, and I had several conversations with the administrators and leadership team on staff, simply because we really look at leadership at our school as a tree model. Really where the principal is at the top and she has our hands on things, but there are many things that we do that we don't necessarily report directly back to her, and that she's putting a lot of trust in us to manage some of those things, but it's meant to put more emphasis on certain things within the school that wouldn't have that same structure that I just created in my pyramid, because um, somebody else is putting it as a higher priority for them. And so they really kind of make that person or that group feel more important or more valued. For instance, I work directly with the community and the alumni. And so part of my job is to really make sure that they feel connected to the school, and that they feel like they are still an important and integral part to the whole the Raptor community model. But anyway, that's my breakdown for this last assignment. Thank you.